What's up, Titans fans? Welcome into Titans Today by Chat Sports. My name is Jace Andrews, and on today's show, we're going to talk about some bye-week changes I think need to be made by the Titans while they have this spare time. We're going to talk about that on today's show, but the first thing I'm going to ask of you is to join the Noti gang. I want you to make sure you never miss a Titans Today video, and the best way to do that is to hit that little bell. It's going to give you a notification whenever we post a video, whenever we go live. You're always going to be in the know about the Tennessee Titans, and with the Titans Now videos coming out whenever you're ready, you're going to get that alert. So make sure you hit that bell and join the Noti gang. Let's dive into the bye week changes that I think should be made by the Tennessee Titans. The first one is completely obvious. Move on from Tannehill. Now, he does have that injury, which is possibly going to take him out for the Falcons game in the upcoming week. It's going to be a high right ankle sprain. That's the injury that was officially announced, had the MRI when he got back to Nashville from the London game. And, well, it was good news in terms of injury. He's going to be back probably relatively sooner rather than later. He had a similar injury to this last year where he missed 2 games. 2 games, 2 weeks. He may miss the Falcons game, but that may be it. Now, I will say this. I don't care if he's injured or not. These stats don't work. I don't think that 2 touchdowns to 6 interception and a QBR below 35 deserves a starting role on an NFL roster when you have receiver of DeAndre Hopkins. The problem is, what is the backup situation? How does this work out? Well, we saw the other QB option, well, at least one of them in London. That was Malik Willis. He was the one who came in relief of Ryan Tannehill, and I'm not going to say he played bad. He didn't play spectacular, but the sacks were an issue. He got sacked 4 times, just held onto the ball way too long. And his career, well, it's not the greatest. 250 in the yardage, 53% on the completion. But the big numbers I'm going to look at here, no touchdowns to 3 interceptions. I don't like what I've seen from Malik Willis. 10 games, though, it's a small sample size. I'm willing to try and give him a shot, let him go out there and see what he's got. Now, here's the thing. You do have Will Levis. Levis was a guy who was really one of those quarterbacks who probably should have been drafted in the first round. He was able to drop down, and the Titans got him in the second round. Well, why not try him out? You haven't given him a shot, and I think with the way this season is going, you're 2-4, why not try out a guy like Will Levis to see if he is your future? Because Tannehill does not have much longer in Tennessee, one way or another. Now, there is a third option you can do, and that is to draft yet another quarterback in the 2024 draft. There is a lot of quarterbacks that you could look at, but at the same time, you have drafted a quarterback in last year's draft and the year before with Malik Willis, who was a highly touted guy, and Will Levis, who really was talked about as a potential number 1 overall pick for a good time before he dropped all the way to day 2, round 2, to the Titans. Well, why not use him? I'm going to let you get in on this. Let me know what you think the Titans should do. Type MW if you think Malik Willis is the option. Type WL if you think Will Levis is the option. Or type D if you think, nah, these guys both aren't it. The loaded draft class is coming. Let's do that. Let's draft somebody in there. Okay, let's go to the second bye week change, and I think this is going to be more Tyjae Spears. We saw a little bit of Tajae in London because, well, he caught a reception for 48 yards. He was the leading receiver for the Tennessee Titans, in fact. It was just 1 reception. It was a screen pass. He looked good. Overall, his season stats in terms of rushing, 31 carries for 117 yards. He has looked really, really promising, but what's funny is he's not the only thing that's promising. Game time is also promising. I tell you what, if you want to go to a Vanderbilt game, if you want to go to a Tennessee Titans game, whatever you want, you can go on to Game Time, the app. It's super easy and super simple, and they're going to have tickets to not only sports, but music, comedy, and theater events in your area. You don't have to worry about buying tickets with Game Time, as when you want to go to a big event, Game Time wants to give you the peace of mind and be able to be excited about going to the next event instead of having to stress about buying tickets. Well, Game Time will take the guesswork out of buying tickets for you by giving you peace of mind, and with their flash deals, zone deals, last-minute tickets, and easy-to-use app, Game Time is the only place that I go for my seats. It's the only place you should go for your seats. Plus, the positive things about their app, they're going to give you pictures of your seat. You're going to know exactly what you're getting, and their 360 view is going to show you basically exactly what your seat will look like. And the special thing is, For Titans Today viewers, we have a special code. If you go and put in Titans Chat, you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code TitansChat for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code TITANSCHAT for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets at the lowest price guarantee. So why more Tyjae Spears? Well, Henry has limited time left. What do I mean by that? I mean that if he gets traded, if he doesn't, it doesn't matter. He's coming up on age 30, and as a running back, and as a guy who runs with as much force and as much power as him, ultimately his time in Tennessee is going to come to an end one way or another in the near future. You got to start looking at who's in the realms. And Tyjae Spears, well, he could be a guy who, I don't know if he's necessarily a running back one, but he's definitely an option for the future. Let's go to our third bye-week change, and that is for the Titans to get healthy because I'm not going to lie, the injuries are starting to stack up. Not only do you have Tannehill, who has that high right ankle sprain, but you have Chris Moore, who also left the London game. He's a wide receiver, has a concussion issue. Treylon Burks and Luke Gifford also dealing with injuries, two key pieces. You're trying to get healthy here, and honestly, this is the time to do it. Treylon Burks, I just saw, was questionable now, so that's a step up from basically being no way he's going to play. Now he's got this bye week, potential for him to come back in the upcoming week against the Falcons. The hope is, with the extra week of rest, he should be okay. Luke Gifford, same there. Extra week of rest. Hopefully he's back on the field. All right, I have a quick question for all of Titans fans. It's the bye week, and, there's a home game coming up. Well, I want to know, have you ever been to a Titans game? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't, well, then use Game Time to get $20 off your first purchase and go to a Tennessee Titans game because, boy, oh boy, it is a fun atmosphere. Let's go to the fourth bye-week change that I think needs to be made, and that is to involve DeAndre Hopkins. Now, I know he has the most targets by a lot. He has the most receptions by a pretty fair margin, but the stats just aren't necessarily there. No touchdowns for a guy through 6 games. It's DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, how does he not have a touchdown yet? 376 yards is, I'm not going to say lackluster, but I think at this point in the season, I would expect him to be a little more closer to 500. The 13.9 average is great, but I think you need to get him more involved in other ways. Jet sweeps, fun motioning plays. And I think that goes a little bit on this Tennessee Titans coaching staff to go out there and try and design more outgoing plays. Now, I know Mike Vrabel is a defensive guy, but he needs to go back and basically say, hey, let's get something going to try and figure out how to put some spice into this offense. And that starts with the QB because ultimately DeAndre Hopkins has 45 targets plus. But they're not good targets. They're into double coverage. They're bad play designs. They're just not working out well. It kind of doesn't make sense to me why exactly he is having a lot of targets but no success. We'd appreciate if you subscribe to Titans Today, as guess what? You subscribe equals more videos for you. And on top of which, if you send this to your friends, if you send this to your Titans family, well, guess what? They sub, we're going to put out more videos for you. More subs equals more videos. So hit that subscribe button right now and make sure you are a part of the Titans Today family. We'd really appreciate if you joined right now. All right, let's go to the fifth bye-week change. And I talked about Mike Vrabel kind of talking to his coaching staff. Well, it's time to light the fire, Vrabel, because ultimately I think on this team, there is just a lack of want. Now, what do I mean by a lack of want? Well, I mean that this team just doesn't seem like they want to be there. There just is it's almost like this negative energy that you can feel. Vrabel, he's a guy who in 2019 found that spark. I want to see that guy again, who's running, who's yelling, who's doing anything. He's on the sideline and just kind of sitting there, and I don't believe that he has done anything to ignite that flame just yet. And I think the biggest thing is this team has talent. There's a lot of guys on this team that they could trade away, but I don't know if it's necessarily need to because ultimately there is people on this team that have talent. You have Derrick Henry. You have DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, you have guys who are absolute studs, not to mention Kevin Byard on the defensive side. This team should be good, and yet they're not. And I just don't understand why. And I think that starts with just the lack of effort, the lack of fire. I think they just have yet to show it, to be quite honest with you. There's not really the fire inside of them, but I know it's there, and I think they can do it. And if you think they can, then like this video because, listen, we're here for all things Titans, and I believe that this team has talent. And if you believe it, like the video. Boy, oh boy, I'm telling you what, it's a good time to be a part of the Titans Today community because we're putting out videos as many as possible. We appreciate you watching today. As always, if you made it to the end of the video, you are a real one. Peace out.